Business to the power of people. Inside your business on Kaya Biz.
Time now to speak to Asanda Xawuka, yes, Executive Manager at the Coega Special Economic Zone Business Development there, giving us some insight into plans to build new cars and boost the manufacturing space within that region. Asanda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Gugu. Good evening to you and the listeners. And thank you for having me.
We're excited to have you with us because you've got great news to share with us in terms of development and investment and a memorandum of understanding that's been signed by an international-based company to ensure that we can boost manufacturing in the country. Give us more details here.
Okay, thanks, Gugu. Let me maybe start by introducing Coega Development Corporation so that the listeners do understand what we are about and what we do in line with our work. The Coega Development Corporation is an operator of the Coega Special Economic Zone, which is located in the former Port Elizabeth area, now Coega in the Eastern Cape, South Africa. We are the first special economic zone to have been established by the democratic government of the Republic of South Africa, having been in operations now for about 24 years. Our mandate is to champion socio-economic development for our region, and in doing that, then we do attract foreign and domestic direct investors to come and locate within the special economic zone, which is about 9,000 hectares of land. And in terms of the sectors that we target Coega targets about a number of sectors, agro-processing, energy, chemicals, manufacturing, agro-processing, and the automotive sector, which has the new investment, which has just been announced recently by Stellantis. We have about 58 operational investors to date, and those investors have created over 9,000 operational jobs, meaning permanent people that are employed that are going to work every day. Investment value of about 11.8 billion rand. Now, on the week of the 12th of September, the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, Minister Patel, announced a 3 billion rand investment in the automotive sector, which is going to be embarked upon by Stellantis. Stellantis is one of the largest automakers in the industry in terms of the group of vehicles that are within that group. It's brands like Jeep, Peugeot, Fiat, Maserati, those types. And their investment is for building a new a greenfield manufacturing plant within the Coega Special Economic Zone. Investment value is about 3 billion rand. And in that, government will also be injecting about 1 billion rand in building the actual job structure, which is the support that government is then giving to that particular entity being Stellantis.
Yeah. Asanda, this is great news, and of course that speaks to a boost for South Africa's economy, but we're well aware that when it comes to these kind of investments of this size, the rollout is quite lengthy. So give us some context in terms of the timelines and the timeframes. What does this mean for where the capital will be allocated? Are we building new manufacturing plants? How this does translate into jobs that will be created at these plants, but also just the multiplier effect in terms of its economic contribution to the Coega.
In terms of the investment that Stellantis is going to inject is 3 billion rand. This is now, of course, going to take care of their plant and equipment and everything else which they are going to require in their operations. And then government, as I've mentioned, will be then injecting about 1 billion rand into the construction of this greenfield manufacturing plant, wherein Stellantis will be manufacturing these vehicles within the Coega Special Economic Zone.
Yeah, and how long will this take before it starts happening? Yes, timelines.
Yes, the timelines. There's the timelines that are projected. The construction of the plant should be starting mid of 2024, and then the plant should be fully constructed by the end of 2025. Operations then are projected to start towards the end of 2026. And in terms of volumes, Stellantis will then be manufacturing, starting off with their 1-ton pickup buggy, producing about 50 8,000 units per annum, but of course ramping that up to about 90,000 units. Jobs are going to be created here. Now, starting in construction, those is going to be a greenfield. Coega has got a target to ensure that on new investment that there's going to be construction, SMEs do benefit. Our target is to ensure that 30% of work that is going to be done in construction is allocated to SMEs. We have achieved about 40% in the previous financial year. So this is going to be then the impact. About 600 operational jobs are going to be created, but in construction, there's about 2,100 jobs that are going to be created. And in terms of the GDP impact positively in the province, it's going to be, the Coega research team has confirmed that the impact then in the GDP is in the region of about 560 million rand, and that the household income will then increase to about 558 million rand as well. So this is really the impact that this project is going to have.
Yeah. Just for clarity, are these vehicles being manufactured for domestic consumption or exported?
It's going to be both. 60% will be for domestic consumption, then 40% will be for export. And I think the other advantage then for Coega as a location is that we are located adjacent to the deep sea waterfalls of Coega, which is then going to make it easier for these vehicles to be exported out to the rest of Africa and other continents as a result of where Coega is located.
Makes sense. Asanda, really appreciate the feedback you've given us, and we'll follow through with this story to witness the progress and, of course, these outcomes, as it does pose as a positive indicator for investment in the country. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Gugu. Keep well.
That's Asanda Xawuka, Executive Manager at the Coega Special Economic Zone Business Development, giving us some insight into 3 billion rand that's being invested by Stellantis, a vehicle manufacturing firm with 16 automotive brands under their umbrella. Think of the likes of Alfa Romeo, Chrysler, Citroen, Fiat, and even Maserati. We'll be manufacturing some of those here at home. But let's see what the outcomes do deliver.